Okay, folks. It is Baron J67, but we are doing something very different today. And this may be the start of another great thing. And hopefully we can get it going with a name. I am Baron J67, and I said that already. And I'm sitting digitally across from
Johnny, hello.
my man Johnny. Johnny Man the Great. Dude, how do you feel, man?
I feel very honored to be with you tonight.
Dude, that
It's a
is
very great opportunity.
Oh, dude. Oh, look, I'm over here. Come on, man. You can't open up like that. Look, first off, I already got a healthy sized ego, and I think I'm really cool. So you can't talk like that because now I'm gonna run off the rails. But what I will say is this is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to expand out more, do more interviews, jump into different I guess see with this podcast, we don't know the name yet. We're looking at StarCrossed Gamers. I mean, and we'll probably stick with that because I said it and now somebody's probably gonna go out and steal it. So we'll stick with that. Let us know in the comments if you can come up with any cool names that you don't mind giving over all copyrights to.
The
Um
copyright is actually pending. Don't even try.
yeah, we already plugged it. Sorry, losers. But no, I want to talk about gaming because first off, it's what I do. It's what I love. I stream. I make YouTube videos. I'm starting to make different types of YouTube videos, more guides and whatnot, just in different current games that I'm playing. Um, and I like talking about general news, and I want to talk about it from a different perspective than what I normally do on my other podcast that I do with XT. He's gonna be so pissed with T Jones, Adventures of the Black Nerds. So today I am sitting here with Johnny, and you know what, Johnny, go ahead and just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your favorite type of games, and what you hope to kind of get out of this new thing we're doing.
Well, I have been uh, gaming now for quite a long time. I am a nice young man. I grew up, I think I'm about the first generation to actually grow up with a computer as we know it from the start. So, when I was like 4, my very first game ever was Lego Loco, one of the best games ever to this day. But, I think it was Lego Loco that has just broadened my, like, wow, you can do games on like computers, and then eventually the PlayStation 2 came along, and oh boy, that was just that was it.
Yeah. See, and that's
But
so. Oh, go ahead. Go. Keep going. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to just say also that my love of gaming has brought me to also watching live streams, and I also caught the world's greatest live streamer of them all, Baron
Oh,
J67, and thankfully
jeez.
he's let me on this podcast.
Jeez, man. Okay, so folks, I just want to be honest. I think I'm that good, but I know I'm not. But I will take the compliment. So, because I feel like that's always the number one thing about the number one thing that's most important. You gotta believe in yourself at some level. You gotta have that confidence to some extent. And
Absolutely,
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I'm all right. I think I'm all right.
I can
And
toot it for you.
Hey, thank you, man. And I appreciate I really do appreciate that, man, cuz it's it's a lot of it's a weird vibe being a streamer, and that's actually something we could talk about too, being a live streamer versus somebody who's views live streams. Cuz I know for me, even though it's the thing to do is to watch other people's streams, I have a hard time doing it. It's really weird cuz for me anything that I've done for I guess like that I've put a lot of work into, it's hard for me to also do it on my off time. Like I used to work in sales, so all I did was talk to people. It was just what I did. I sat there, talked all day, 8 hours of just talking, talking, talking. So when I would get home, I wouldn't want to talk to nobody. Like I just have this weird, like if I do it and make money doing it, I don't want to do it on my off time. I gotta have some type of separation, and that's actually a problem I ran into when I first became an affiliate. I don't think were you watching me when I first became an affiliate, Johnny?
I
I think it was like
think
February of
so.
last year.
I think so.
Okay.
I
I
remember.
I took a
Yeah.
big hiatus. Like I was gone for almost a year.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because I was in like a crazy depression because it all of a sudden became work. Now it shouldn't be. It's something I enjoy doing. It was a passion. It was, but then when all of a sudden there was some form of monetization behind it and a status to uphold, I was like, holy crap, this is a job. So I would not touch my game. Everything was dusty. It was bad. So I had to learn to kind of, I had to learn to love, I guess, gaming again because I took a serious break. I mean, and I'm ranting. And why did I go down this road? Um. Oh, so your perspective, what is it that you look for when you watch a stream? Because I know for me, I put together this presentation. I'm trying to make sure everything's all nice looking. I even added different lighting. I'm trying to make sure I spark up good enough conversation. Because the gaming, I think that's second choice. I feel like people who watch for specific games, they watch it's the game and not the person. Um,
Yeah.
like people with League of Legends, of course you got your bigs you want to see, but more or less you just like the gameplay of League of Legends. I feel like a majority of streamers, their viewers are there to see them.
Oh
So
yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, so go ahead and just give me your perspective on being somebody who consumes live streaming.
Well, I think the thing that keeps an audience, coming back is absolutely the personality behind it because, you know, everybody can have the same overlay, everybody can be playing the same game, but if you're not interesting, nobody's going to stick around. They're just going to go off to the next guy. But when you have a cool personality and your I don't know, I guess interaction with your audience, all that stuff, that is what I think would draws people back, like me.
Yeah, hey, no, hey, and just to give you guys a quick background, Johnny has seriously been supporting me clearly for like over 2 years now. I've been
Big fan.
streaming. I'm going appreciate it, man. I've been streaming, working on my third year. I think once we get to like February or something like that. And this has been something I wish I would have did sooner. I really, really wish I would have took my cousin's advice. A, he told me back when Twitch like wasn't even anywhere near what it is now. Of course, it was after what was it, Justin TV? It was after the Justin TV phase. But he had been telling
Mhm.
me, he was like, "Why don't you stream? Why don't you live stream? Why don't you live stream?" I honestly thought it was stupid. I was like, nobody wants to sit and watch me play video games. Like it's absolute nuts. Like that people sit and watch me play video games and talk to me, and it's a weird concept. But at the same time, I love it because it's a it's a way for me to connect with people while doing something else and not being like I have friends outside, of course, outside my office and outside the computer. I got people I meet up with and things like that. But to be able to come and sit down and enjoy gaming, which is something that was very, I guess, private with me. It was
Mhm.
because I play a weird range of games that I didn't think anybody else and their mom played. But then here it is, I go on Twitch and there's like 400 people wanting to watch or watching somebody play this weird game, which Mountain Blade, like
Exactly. That was
yeah,
exactly what I was thinking.
like Mountain Blade. I seriously built my streaming career on Mountain Blade. Shout out to Mountain
It's so
Blade.
niche.
It is the
It's such a
most.
niche game.
And then we had the communities. You remember back in the day with communities, all you had to. Well, I'm talking like a super old. That was like 5 months ago. But with communities, I would be streaming Mountain Blade and then type in the Mountain Blade community. It would literally be like 30 people all over Twitch in this room waiting for somebody to stream Mountain Blade. Like I've met people from all across the world playing that game. And this game is like you could probably run it on a potato and
Probably.
like without all the mods, of course, you could definitely run the base on a potato. And it's one of the few games that I can run while actually streaming because I have crashed my computer a few times trying to be cool and play a modern game while streaming. And it's a workhorse, but the graphics card is crap.
There's this one game in particular that
Oh
I think you
Jesus.
could stream I think your computer can't handle it.
Yeah, somebody did run the specs. Somebody in my stream did run the specs, and they said I can run Star Wars: The Old Republic. Um, dude, I
That
just
guy, that
yeah,
was a really good idea.
he's a wise man. It's almost like I should get him on the show. We should bring him on
Exactly.
StarCrossed Gamers. Um, and you know what? Speaking of Star Wars, I know there was something you brought up that you wanted to go ahead and jump on that topic.
Well, I wrote down a few things,
Okay.
I wanted to come up with here. And the first Star Wars thing I brought up, I have to do it first. Baron, I have a surprise for you.
Uh oh.
Now, we talked about this before, briefly, but I can confirm now, 2019 live, that Star Wars Galaxies is alive.
Dude, this is what I love about the internet. Guys, okay, folks, I never knew about Star Wars Galaxies until it was getting ready to end. Until the public server or the servers that were run by who makes it? Who was it who
No
runs it?
idea.
I have no idea who runs it. But I read this article in GameStop. It was one of the most beautiful, well-written articles, and they wrote up the ending of Star Wars Galaxy's public servers as if the world was ending. Like legit, that guy created a character, and I guess there was no character there was no stats that kept you away from certain worlds and level caps or anything like that. So people were literally on every planet you could go to in galaxies having a party, selling and giving away all their expensive gear because none of it mattered anymore. So
Exactly.
everybody's just having this end of the world party like it's 1999 party. And the cool thing was the guy, he eloquently writes it out, and it's like he was hanging out at the end of the world party. And it was just
It's like a
so
historical account.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. I didn't know. See, I felt cheesy about how excited and how much I enjoyed it because it was simply somebody witnessing the end of a video game in game.
Yeah, I know,
And
yeah.
like I couldn't imagine like how it felt to the final days of like Battlefield 4 uh public servers. Cuz
Oh,
that
but
game's still running.
it's gonna
Huh?
be completely different. Because
Yeah,
like
yeah, go ahead.
Star Wars Galaxy is probably one of the earlier MMOs.
Oh yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but the MMOs. I'm a big fan of MMOs, but those games really are fantastic at creating communities because they have like guilds. I'm pretty sure Galaxies had guilds.
Had to.
You could that was those are the kind of games where you and I don't know a couple of friends of yours could just go, you know what, 5 o'clock to I don't know 8, we're gonna be jamming on, and then that's exactly what they'll do every day because that's their favorite game. You know exactly what you do, and you're like, oh, today I think I'm gonna start working on my farming, and you know what, you and your pals can just sit the whole day just sitting there planting crops, etc.
And what's so funny? That's I when it comes to MMOs, when it comes to most games, period, I play them in the absolute weirdest or wrongest way. So like we were big on Warframe. We had our own dojo. Well, that's what we called it, the dojo. Um, we invested resource. If we jumped on right now, it should still be there. But we played the hell out of Warframe, and I would go fishing. I have live streams of me fishing for legit an hour and a half, just out
Oh
there
my God.
dodging bad guys fishing. Um, I know I apologize to anybody who watched that. Um, they probably enjoyed it because I enjoyed it. I had fun. I could do the weird thing for like I'm shocked I don't play Stardew Valley. To be honest with you, I haven't played it.
Oh yeah.
I haven't played Stardew Valley, but Chucklefish is actually a really good company that I love because they came out with Starbound, and I played the hell out of Starbound. I think I had over 300 hours in it, and that was
Oh
before
wow.
the official release. I haven't even really played that was the early access. I haven't even
All
played
right.
much because remember it was early access for like 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy how games can go on for like years at a time and have these huge communities going without the
Yeah,
game even being released.
how do you feel about that? I used to hate it. To be honest with you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag because, you can get the game early, just get your things going. And, when you, I guess it's like investing early. And then, sometimes you can get cool stuff out of it, like, you helped us, pay for the game. Here's a cool little banner or whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff like that can be great. But, when it's like, well, we're in beta right now and there's about 300 bugs, but it's not out yet, so you can't really be mad at us. So it's a fine line.
It is. And speaking on that, but no, first let's jump on Star Wars, some other Star Wars stuff. You wanted to talk about the movies.
Oh, this is gonna take up the rest of the podcast.
Well,
Oh my
let's
God.
let's do it. So first off, I gotta ask, what's your favorite Star Wars? Why? And then what's the worst one and why?
Are we including like the non-trilogy movies?
Yeah, just anything, any movie for Star Wars, and then we'll even jump
Okay.
into TV shows.
I think my favorite movie out of all of them is Revenge of the Sith. Now I know
Mm,
half of the people that like Star Wars probably clicked out because
right, just
they're all
right there.
prequel haters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I grew up with the prequels,
yeah,
It's just, people were like, "Oh my God, the graphics or whatever, like the CGI." When you didn't see the originals first, then you
yeah.
don't really care.
And
But
technically, you watched it in order.
yeah, technically. But my the reason I love it so much, it has to be like well, I just like it because I don't know. It's just the atmosphere of like the Clone Wars itself is just like the most interesting thing. It's my favorite era.
Yeah,
They have the originals. The Empire is cool and such, but like what preceded it, how about having all
the
these
separatist and
exactly. And it produced a lot of cool characters. And oh man, the clones, they're the best.
oh yeah. What were their names? Not Gunny. What was his name?
Which ones from the
Um,
show?
yeah, the ones that branched off into the show. Rex, yeah,
Rex.
Rex, and yeah. Oh, that group, they were goons.
They were.
Oh, it was like watching. It was like watching some Zero Dark 30 stuff. Like those dudes were goons, and the original gritty Clone Wars TV show. See, I'm already jumping off topic. So no, keep going, keep going. So that's your best movie. And I'm gonna have to. What I liked about that so much was it literally set the tone for everything.
Exactly.
That was that big turning point. Because correct me if I'm wrong. That's when Anakin went all the way, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
that
got
was
converted to the dark side.
so pivotal because that, if you think about it, seeing up to the trailer so far, and spoiler alert for those who haven't seen the newest movie trailer, episode 9 trailer, it
I'm included in that.
yeah, right? Hey, oh, you haven't seen it, or you refuse to
No,
watch
but
it?
yeah. But so go ahead. Go ahead.
But it actually even leads up into that. You know what I mean? Like all of these things, it was like the turning point for the galaxy. Um,
Yeah, it was a big fundamental change
yeah,
because it was just the extinction of the Jedi.
yeah,
I mean, except for Luke, but
yeah, yeah.
technically, there was
Technically,
like tens of thousands, and then there was like I don't know, like 100.
that is super super understandable. I now what's your worst? Which one's the worst?
Oh, I don't think this needs. You can guess. The Last Jedi.
Oh, now
It
why?
is. Oh my god. Sorry. It's I feel like it was a chimpanzee with a typewriter with the plot. Just like,
Okay,
come on.
okay.
Like, okay,
It
here's my biggest gripe with the entire sequel trilogy as a whole. They had Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford, and they
yeah,
didn't do anything with them. I mean, like,
very true.
obviously they did, but
They
like,
they handed off the baton in a very cheap way. I'll give you that.
but think of how cool for all the people that were returning to have that one moment or scene or however long you'd want to have that, where it's just the three of them, killing stormtroopers or just reminiscing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these kids, that Ray reminds me of when I was young, or something like that,
Yeah.
But they didn't do that,
Even a
spoiler
nod.
alert.
They didn't even do a nod. You're right.
Exactly. But now they can't because they killed, well, spoiler alerts,
Oh
okay?
yeah.
But
Sorry, folks. Yeah, it's
I
been
feel
about a
like,
year.
it's been
Yeah.
out, you
Yeah.
know, they killed off
I think
Han
it's on
in Force
Netflix. That's how
Awakens.
deep we are in it.
All three of them are gone. You
Yeah.
know, they killed off Luke and Han, but Carrie Fisher is sadly
Legit.
passed.
Yeah.
So, they couldn't redo it if they wanted to. They had one chance and they blew it. But that's not the worst thing. The worst thing of them all is just Ray. Oh my god.
Now, what's your issue with Ray? Because for me, my problem with Ray is you can tell this is very Game of Thrones-ish, and we'll talk about that if we got time because we are eating up and it's fine. Um, with Ray, in my opinion, it's like they started somewhere, and then of course the writers changed. Was it the writer who changed or the director?
I think it was the director.
And then all of a sudden it's like they scrapped everything they planned to do, and then they tried to poop it together, and then now like there's so many questions that have to be answered. So
Exactly.
many questions. Like it is stupid how many loose ends there are, and I'm getting mad too. So go ahead, you go.
Okay, so for anybody that's really interested in like why that movie was really bad, there's this like 10-hour like series of videos done by a YouTuber named Mauler, and he just breaks down the entire movie. But I think what he correctly identifies as like the worst, like egregious crime of how they handled Ray is that okay, it's gonna sound bad, but like she's a Mary Sue. I mean, just compare like Luke's journey. He was a farm boy, and then he had to lose his arm and to like meet up to, the standards or training, whatever, of like Vader. But Ray, her entire experience with a lightsaber was swinging it at rocks, and then compare that to her fight scene in the throne room, where she's just killing elite guards, just like nobody's business.
You know what? To some extent, I agree with you because it was she did get handheld as a character and plot wise. Like seriously, plot armor carried her like Goku. I'm gonna piss people off.
Exactly.
I'm gonna piss people off with that one. But you have to admit I don't. I think. Do you watch anime? Do you watch Naruto?
No, not at all.
Okay, well with Naruto, there's a character named Sakura. They're the big three characters: Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto.
Okay.
Sakura gets clowned on to no end. Like she gets dragged in the mud by the community, a large portion of the community, and it's because it's like, oh, she's just like they give her grief for similar reasons they're giving Ray grief, but it's not their fault. It's the directors and the writers, because let's be
Exactly.
honest here, they threw a lightsaber in her hand and then they did that flashback. They toyed heavy, remember? As soon as she touched
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
they toyed heavy that she was a Skywalker. Like it was almost like all of the generations of the Force of that lineage was being passed to her through the Skywalker lightsaber.
Yeah.
They really did. And then all of a sudden they never talk about it again. It's never brought up again. It's never brought up again. Not even like, oh, hey, you may be like, and then they toy with it with that awkward love scene between her and Adam Driver, where
Oh yeah, with the
where they're like having a
Ben
forced
Swall.
connection. Like it was like, are we hooking up? It was all Judge Dredd style. Like, oh, not Judge Dredd. What movie was that? No, it was. Was it Judge Dredd or Demolition Man? Where they put on the headset. Demolition Man. If you haven't seen that movie, Johnny, you need to go watch Demolition Man.
I'll
Classic.
watch it after this.
Yeah, no, I promise you, you will have a good time. It's like classic '80s, like action movie. Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes is the bad guy, hands
Oh boy.
down. It sounds epic, right? One
I
of
know.
the most epic movies. I think that's one of Sylvester Stallone's best movies, hands down. Demolition Man and Wesley Snipes as a bad guy. He he's almost like Joker, like to that level of bad. Like he just
Oh wow.
don't give a shit, kicking ass, dope fight scenes, have fun. And then there's the great fast food wars and Taco Bell wins.
Good.
Like, so like you got okay. But seriously, I don't like you could tell there was a big shift and there was so many loose ties in the first one that didn't get answered in the second one. And then on top of the ones that didn't get answered for the first one, there's a bunch of stuff that didn't get answered in the second one. And
Exactly.
they left too many loose ends. And I just they messed with the lore.
They did.
They
Big
messed
time.
they messed with the lore. We got to be honest. That's folks. You got to admit, man. Like you know how many suicide bombers we'd have in Star Wars if all you had to do was warp speed at people. Like it would it's a trap wouldn't even exist because they would have just warp speed out. You know for the rebellion.
Can you imagine Akbar in that battle? He's like, you know what? That I know that Death Star's targeting this ship. Just
Yeah,
go straight into
yeah,
that
just go
laser.
straight through it for the rebellion. Like,
Exactly.
like, and you just saved planets. You just saved half the galaxy and killed the Death Star. Like before it even mattered. Like you would have just ran through it. It would have been,
Exactly.
dude. And it's one thing I will say though, it looked pretty. I was in
Yes.
the theater like jaw dropped. I was like, this is beautiful. Like it was epic. And but it did throw a couple plot holes in the whole lore. Cause this would be the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Even if you
I'm
think
you
of
know,
books and everything, I don't think even TV shows, there's nothing that hell, I don't think they've ever crashed ships into each other. No, take that back in the beginning of that one. They did.
yeah, there are examples of ships crashing into ships, but not like weaponizing the hyperdrive. Watch as soon as they're like, oh, it's not in the lore. Well, we'll just release 10 books that no, reference
Yeah.
this.
And this is the thing at the end of the day when it comes to that one. Um I cut you off and I'm so sorry. Um I think Ray was dealt a bad hand, and then I also feel bad for her as a character because she's her, and then there was another character. They legit got like Jar Jar Binks, like just the media and the fan base hated them. I never have an issue with an actor. I more or less have issues with the writers as I've gotten older. You know,
Exactly.
like as I've gotten older and I've read more and I kind of get an idea of how these things work. She had no say. Hell, honestly, I can't even think of a line Ray said. You know, usually you can pull a quote from one of these the last two Star Wars movies.
Uh, the only thing I can think of for Ray is like the time she's like, "Oh, I fixed the Millennium Falcon hyperdrive. All I had to do was pull out this restrictor." That Han couldn't do himself.
Yeah,
He didn't know how to do it, but don't worry, she does.
yeah. And that was another tease at her being related. And then if what book was it with the whole twins? Um,
Twins?
wasn't there a book with twins? One was good, one was bad.
Oh,
And
I
it was Han and Leia's kids, right? In the books?
yeah, it was they straight up ripped his name. Ben Solo was
Yeah.
the one. I think it was like Jaden or something.
Yeah, there were legit twins that they just completely bypassed, and so now people who know about the twins. Let me see.
Yeah, while you're doing that, it's a pretty common practice, at least so far, is that when they pretty much said all of this, canon stuff, like all the comic books and whatever, that's extended universe. Now that didn't really happen, but
Yeah.
they've been pulling from that pretty heavily.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Like
Jason and Janaya or Jaina,
I was
and one
close
of them,
enough.
and one goes evil. Like yeah, that whole My whole thing about the movies is it seems like they put these last two movies in the hands of people who almost didn't even okay, they were shot completely different.
7 and
Um
8.
yeah. They especially like think about the big fight scene for 7. It felt like I was watching John Wick and not Star Wars. It didn't feel like these most recent battles didn't feel like Star Wars fights. Now, I don't know if that's a
Mm.
good thing or a bad thing, but think about I mean the evolution all the way up to Qui-Gon Jinn and Ben and Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul. That is a pinnacle lightsaber battle. Like I felt
Oh
like
yeah.
I was watching gladiators with lightsabers trying to kill each other in the dopest way possible. But then you move forward to now it could be you could tie that to the lore, but now you move it looked almost like not street fighting, but almost like street fighting. Like they was just out there. I got a lightsaber. It's a part of my arsenal. I'm
I think I can explain this in lore.
okay.
There's
See,
no
that's what I
like there
figured. Yeah.
there's no like set reason that I know of for this. But, just off of knowing Star Wars, my guess would be like, well, the only force sensitives out there at this time period was Luke's Jedi Academy. And where did he ever learn
Uh,
saber techniques and such? I mean, he
yeah.
fought Vader, but like
Yeah.
he's not exactly like those aren't learning experiences per se.
And I
Because
personally
like,
think Vader went easy on him.
well, it is his son.
Yeah. Vader
But
went
yeah,
from slaying galaxies to losing a one-on-one battle.
yeah. I mean, there are probably we didn't get to see it, of
True.
course,
Yeah.
but I'm sure he did good in training apprentices, but they're not at the tier of Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. It's just, different, I don't know, training.
Different. Hey, but isn't see? I actually kind of like stuff like that because at the same time, nods like that. Even though we would have loved to see it, like you said, we'd have loved to see a little bit of the training ground and not the minor assassination attempt scene. And that
Oh
was weird.
God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was weird seeing Luke like
Of all people.
go. He even didn't they even make his face look like he was part of the dark side for a
Well, like
brief
they made
second.
him have a face, yeah.
Yeah, which was
Like a
weird. It was
have a
excessive.
face. Well,
Yeah,
like a
like
scared slash, angry looking face.
yeah, it was weird. Um, I to to see Luke go that far was kind of weird, but at the same time, like you just said, he was not properly trained. He kind of just was powerful and got out there and did shit.
Obi-Wan's Force Ghost and Yoda, and some
Yeah,
to some degree Darth Vader. I
yeah,
mean, they're great. They're legends. But, he didn't have that much time with them.
true, very true. And then I felt like they kind of left him hanging because Yoda only popped up for a little bit. Like, could you how you know how mad I would be knowing that we could communicate on a regular basis through this great and powerful metachlorians? No,
Oh,
like,
Anakin, you have the highest midichlorian count in the galaxy.
so I got space aids. I got the hurt, the space hurt. Uh,
Oh my God, you just reminded me of something hilarious. There's this edit of what is it? Of The Empire Strikes Back when
oh,
Luke lands on Dagobah,
got it.
and it's like, so now all I have to do is find this Yoda guy, and then Yoda goes, "You find what?" And then Luke just immediately turns around and blasts him away.
End of the movie. Boop.
Exactly.
Run the credits.
That's exactly what happened.
Hey, you
Oh my God.
into the galaxy. They all show the Empire just completely running over everything. Hey, you know what? You know what's something I really wanted to see? Kind of going out into the branch of the branching out a little bit, and then I'll go into my favorite movies and which ones I got irritated with. Um, I wish I would have got a full fledged Star Killer movie.
Oh yeah,
Star
that's a
Killer,
good idea.
dude, Star Killer was so epic, or at least a TV show. I'll take a Netflix series of Star Killer, hands down, or Disney Plus. Um, I dude, start watching him pull down that Death Star
Oh
or
yeah,
the Star Destroyer. Um, dude, what? What?
yeah.
That was one
I
of the
mean,
most.
it made him feel as if he was more powerful than like other big names around at the time.
It did. Because I ain't never seen nobody else do that. And then here we go. If everything is semi canon, because at this point you can go ahead and say everything's semi canon. Not full canon, but semi, like, if it fits. Vader, at the end of Rogue One, he didn't force grab that ship.
Oh yeah, man. I, the explanation that I once heard, he's like, he was so focused on killing the rebels
that
that
he
he
it
just
didn't even register.
he yeah, he didn't think. Just like, come on.
Hey, but if you think about it, he wasn't paying attention. Well, no, what was he doing? Was he trying to get the information, or was he just killing people?
I think he was just killing. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he knew that they were on board, and as soon as he was like, take, the one dude's like, take it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is, but I'm pretty sure when he walked into that hallway,
It was
that
just murder.
they probably didn't have it right there.
Yeah, because that's just like, okay, with a lot of anime, I used to think it was real weird that they would yell out their moves. But then somebody told me, they were like, nah, bro, that's just to give you, like, you're inside their head. It's like insight. Like, most fighters aren't saying, about to throw a roundhouse kick. like,
I'm gonna kick him 3 times in the leg and
yeah,
one uppercut.
yeah, like, no, people don't do that. So that was one fix, and somebody said that to me, and I was like, I'll run with that, whether it's true or not. I'll take that and run with it because it makes it more enjoyable. But with that moment, they were just showing us two perspectives, so it was so cool to see. Like, okay, Vader's just on a murder spree as usual. Go ahead, Anakin, you get it out. And then these guys are out here trying to survive and save the galaxy. But I honestly, if I had to pick my all-time favorite Star Wars movie, Rogue One would have been that movie. I thought Rogue One was gonna win a Oscar.
You heretic. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
just I'm just being honest. The
I'm just
trailer was
kidding.
beautiful. Like
He was a good
the
movie.
trailer was beautiful. I love watching movies and universes that are shot different. Like that come
Yeah.
with a different feel. I'm trying to think of something else that was along those lines. Um it's gonna kill me. It's gonna take a while. But
Well,
no, it just it felt refreshing in a way like how the Clone Wars cartoon series did. The first
yeah.
one, that grittier one. You remember
Well,
it
I
was
think the more popular version was pretty gritty towards the
oh
end. I
hell
watched it all.
yeah. Hell yeah, when Anakin started creeping over to the other side. Only thing that was weird was him becoming the literal balance of the force. Like not just like figuratively, but that whole like
Yeah,
holding on to the dark and good and him just standing in the middle holding chains
that
like
was
the Greek
weird.
god. That was different. It was them putting a literal like face to the force was kind of like,
Yeah.
whoa, you guys
You
really
know,
went there.
I saw behind the scenes of the making of that episode or that arc, I
Really?
should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a YouTube like behind the scenes of or whatever. But they had big plans for that arc because they were gonna make everybody's favorite Legends guy canon. Do you have a guess?
Oh.
Dark, not Dark, Darth Revan.
Oh, they were gonna bring him up.
Yeah, they were gonna make him like, what is it, the sun, like the dark side dude.
Yeah,
He was gonna go to like the ghost of Revan for like insight on how to like get off that planet and corrupt the galaxy or whatever.
because Revan was he in the game. He was like the balance, right?
I have no idea. I never played the games. Well,
Oh,
that's
dude.
not true. I played the first one, but I never beat it.
Hey, I actually really that those were some classic RPGs that I true as the RPG gamer Baron J67. I really, really, really enjoyed those damn games, and I've played them multiple times. I've bought them multiple times. Um, I used to be that kid who would buy a game and then go trade it in like an idiot and then buy it again. Um, yeah, I was weird. Like I think I bought Morrowind like
You know,
twice.
I love RPG games. Like, well, I think there's different kinds because
Oh
like
yeah.
there's the Elder Scrolls genre of RPG,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm more of a fan of. But you know, playing KOTOR, and then there was another game like Dragon Age, I think,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
it was. I don't know if it. I'm pretty sure it's just me being bad, but those games for me just had such a huge difficulty spike, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because like I remember vividly in Dragon Age, if that's the game I'm thinking of, like you can go to like these three different areas or whatever. You can go to one, and then just the other two will just go yoink, up in
Yeah.
difficulty, just like that. And
Yeah.
like I don't know how you're supposed to counter that. It's not like there's easier things to go grind. And
Yeah.
you know, KOTOR had that, I think, as well.
Yeah. And you
Because
know
I couldn't
what?
even. Okay, sorry.
No, no, go ahead. My bad, man.
I remember vividly that the part in KOTOR I stopped is just like infiltrating like an Imperial base on Terrace.
Mm.
I just couldn't do it because like there's this, you know, you have your team of like two or three other guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then combined couldn't beat like this droid stormtrooper boss or whatever. It was just impossible. I couldn't do it. I tried for like half an hour, but you know, I gave up. I can't progress.
And see, and what's funny, and the reason I like games like that is because, like I said earlier about Warframe, I have no problem doing the weird grindy stuff for hours on end. Like I
Yeah,
actually
me too.
knew, I knew I was gonna marry my wife because she watched me mine planets on Mass Effect 2.
Oh,
She sat there with no complaint and watched me mine planets. And I can almost hear the noise, like, and I would mine until I got everything I needed. I would sit there for hours to get all and then it was on Mass Effect 3 where you needed material to get like the perfect endings and stuff like that, right? Where everybody
I never
survives.
played Mass Effect.
Oh, okay. Mass Effect is an amazing game. Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. Great. I've never played Andromeda. A lot of people dissed it so much that it scared me. And it almost made me stop listening to reviews cuz now when I listen to reviews, I pick people who play games like I do. Like I like
Yeah,
Mr. Matty plays. I like the Jimquisition. I like the Black Hokage. Who else do I watch? Gamer, what is it, Gamer X? Those guys are cool. And then there's one more group that I pay attention to. I forgot their name, but they I go to specific people to watch their reviews because I was just soaking in too much info and it scared me away
hmm,
from games. So like
yeah,
there's games I wouldn't even try because I just heard so many bad reviews. Well, who knows? I would have loved it.
yeah. That's always the case. I mean, that's the thing with me for Steam because I never like I don't really watch like review channels or whatever. But you know, more power to you for doing it. But
Yeah.
on Steam, there's always like the user reviews just on the store page for the games. You know, there can be a game that's like overwhelmingly negative, but it can still be good. The
True.
chances aren't high, but it could be. I think one instance of this would be Old El Devon. It was a gem, but for some reason it was negatively reviewed. But
Mm.
you know, sometimes you just gotta play it for yourself
And
to really know the truth.
that's what I often recommend to people. Like if it's something that caught your eye, at least go watch the gameplay and
Yeah,
see if it's something
that's a
you
good
know
one.
what I mean. Like don't go listen to a review. Go watch the gameplay because there was a game that I passed up on that I want to jump back into just for the sake of how the story plays. I think it was called Vampire. I want to jump
Oh
in.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on Switch, so I might end up getting it just something to play. Like I need to buy more Switch games, especially with Pokemon coming out next week. Is it next week?
Oh yeah.
I think Pokemon
No
is
idea.
coming out next week. Let me see. Yep. Next Friday. So you got what games are you actually looking forward to playing?
I'm never like the kind of guy that jumps into like the fresh titles.
Got you.
You know, what I usually just pick up games in like Steam summer sales. So,
Oh,
you know,
got
they'll
you.
they'll usually be out for a while before they like, are discounted. But I think a game that I'm looking forward to a little bit, but I'm still very suspicious, is the Fallen Order uh, Star Wars
Oh,
game coming out.
I sad but true. I'm hoping that it does terribly in the beginning, sales wise, so that it goes on sale real fast. That's what
Oh, could
I'm
always
being
be another
honest.
76
Yeah. Oh.
going on sale like a week after it launches.
Oh man. And you know what? Let's talk about that because that's something we were supposed to do about gaming companies the last 20 minutes or so. So with gaming companies right now, and I'm going to compare Bethesda and CD Projekt Red. I'll compare those two only because for the most part they both only worked with one title for the most
Yeah.
part. I mean,
CD Red is Witcher, right?
is Witcher, and then
Okay.
Bethesda is Fallout and Elder Scrolls. So, and the only reason I say they're the same is because mechanically they're kind of the same. Of course, they got different like types of play. Like you're not shooting bows and arrows all day, even though you can in Elder Scrolls. You're mainly using melee weapons, but
Yes,
I
same but
think
different.
it's the same
Close
but different.
enough.
It's different worlds. There you go. That's the best way to say it. Um, I what I love about CD Projekt Red is they remind me of golden era video games where you buy a game, it's complete. If it does have bugs, it's very minimal. Like it was something they just really had no idea was gonna pop up. Um, and you get your money's worth with no hesitation. Now, Bethesda, in my opinion, used to be that way.
Absolutely, they
Kinda.
were.
Yeah, like Fallout 3, Oblivion, Morrowind, New Vegas. And I'm one of the rare people who likes Fallout 3 more than New Vegas. I just felt Fallout 3. Only thing that I didn't like about Fallout 3 was the color palette. I got tired of
Oh,
seeing green and brown everywhere I went.
and being in the sewer for half the game.
Yeah, like that, just being honest. But as in like I will pick up Fallout 3 over Fallout New Vegas. That's just Fallout New Vegas, I don't know what it was. It didn't capture me like 3 did. Like I
I'm
the mo
surprised.
Yeah,
You're
no.
out there. You're pretty close to Vegas.
Yeah, and that's true. Like Vegas had some cool mechanics, but I'm thinking about like the storming of the GNR radio. Um taking the pride of what were they called, the Lion's Pride, and storming with the
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
giant mech. That major spoiler alert, that major decision of who to
Liberty
send
Prime.
into the, yeah, Liberty Prime, that major moment of figuring out who to kill in order to save whoever. Like I felt, or even that battle where you went to go save that what are they called? The Brotherhood of Steel member when they were stuck on the roof. Do you remember that mission on
Stuck
Fallout
on the
3?
roof.
They were stuck on a
Um.
roof, and you get up there, and there's like a couple of ammo packs, and then
Oh,
you're
I
just
remember this.
and you got
They
to
weren't
fight your
Brotherhood
way
though.
out. That was like and that was a side quest, and
Yeah,
that was
Riley's
just,
Rangers.
yes, there you go, and it was just ridiculous. So for me, I had more memorable, more fun moments in 3. So in the most recent Fallouts, the order for me would be Fallout 3, New Vegas, and then 4.
Okay.
Four disappointed me only because it felt hollow. I never finished it.
Well, let me be the let me go against the grain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You chose three over Vegas. I'll choose four. Is my favorite with a lot of asterisks
Okay,
because I think fall each game is good for its own reasons.
true.
Like three had a pretty good storyline. I think New Vegas is like new mechanics, like the reputation, like uh,
Gear
having to
battering.
balance out. Yeah, and they did more with companions.
Yes, they did. 100%.
But then four, my favorite my favorite mechanic was the building of settlements. Like I spent
Mm,
hours just sitting there, like building up sanctuary hills into like a I don't know what you call it, like a town, a hamlet, or whatever. But like, there's that funny thing out there where it's like, you spent like 20 hours building up your settlement, and it's like, Sean who?
yeah, man. Wow. My son. My son. Hey, see, I don't even know how that played out. I haven't even watched any videos or anything because I think
I could tell
eventually
you.
one day I'll no don't because one day I'm gonna go into it eventually just because it is a
Well,
Fallout game.
you said you'd eventually finish Mountain Blade, and here we are.
You know what the thing is about Mountain Blade? I don't know how to work the romance mechanics and the loyalty mechanics. Like I kind of suck at that. I'm just good at storming castles.
That's all you really need to do. Like,
Yeah, but I got tired of the king not giving me my castles. Like he was like, "Oh, not worthy. Somebody who's more whatever." And here it is. The guy has like 20 people in his unit because he was captured, and I had to save him. And but yet he's getting 3 castles that I just captured single handedly. Like
yeah, I think.
I go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, I think I told you this. It's like every kingdom had their own like way of rewarding the vassals.
And
I
I didn't
think
know that.
you were with like the Swadians, which are like the like the British
Yeah, the
Europeans or
uppity
whatever.
royals. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way they dished them out is just like looking at your renown.
Yes.
But there were factions where, they were like, you took it, you get to keep it.
Oh, see, I need to find that faction because I'm trying to go up in there and take over everything. And I feel like I
They have
learned the
limits
cheat
though.
code once I found a house in the longsword because I was just running through sweeping army. It would be me against 30 people, and my whole unit died, and I would take on the whole people because I would just be running rounds, swiping heads, heads, heads. Like I fell in love with longswords. That's whenever I hit whenever I play again because I jumped into it not too long ago again. The first thing I try to do is get a horse and a big ass sword, something with a lot of reach, like, and as much damage as possible. And I just run through sweeping heads, floop, floop, and then I get a bow. Oh, I
Yeah.
love the bow and arrow mechanics on that damn game. I
Yeah.
love it,
With
especially when you're
enough
storming a
training, you can get
castle.
just like 50 headshots.
Yes. And then when you're storming the castle and they're out there, you just see the arrows flying past you, foo, 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 and then you're all picking people off, standing in the raptors, like just see him just right there, and you see the arrow just drop on his head, and you see him fall backwards.
10
Um,
pixels
yeah, you
in
just see a
side.
little square dots, and you just see a guy dots collapse, and I'm like, yes, I'm
See,
grateful for Bannerlord. I'm gonna throw all my money at it.
see, Mountain Blade is my most played game ever. And
Me
I
too.
feel a little embarrassed about how many hours I have in it.
How
You know,
many?
it's over 3,000. I've
Jeez.
had it for years.
Yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
game is what over 10 years old.
Yeah. I've had it, let's see how long, like maybe 7 or 8 years now. So,
Dude, and it's
take that with, I don't just sit here playing like 24 hours a day.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
over a
yeah,
span of years,
yeah. And
but it is my most played game.
well, for me, I the reason a big reason I stopped streaming it is I started feeling myself getting coined as the Mountain Blade guy. Cause remember, that's
Mm,
all I played. Like
for a
that
good
was
time then.
it wasn't that I was having fun, but in all honesty, I feel bad for the single game guys. I
Yeah.
legit they make good money, fine. You know, Ninja he's making millions. But if the only game I could play was Fortnite, or if the only game because only game that people expected me to play was Mountain Blade. And it was I started feeling cornered and I was like, I gotta break this as quick as possible. I like the idea of being able to just pick up any game that sounds fun today. Like
Yeah.
it really does sound fun to me. Cause then once if I would have went that route, like the ninja route, not saying I'm comparing myself to Ninja, but just in the way of him playing one game majority. That's a now it's a job. Like
Hmm.
now it's really I'm clocking in. Let me hit my time clock. Boop. Now I'm playing Fortnite for 8 hours, and let me clock out. Boop. That doesn't sound good to me.
No, you can't do it.
I can't. I rarely beat video games as it is, so I couldn't imagine. And then nothing against Fortnite, I just suck at it. I'm not good at the building part. I
it
absolutely,
you get
I,
shot at once and then you build a mansion.
yeah, bro, I suck at the game. The now I when it comes to shooters, ooh, jumping on Fallout 4, the shooting mechanics was dope. It felt good.
It was a big improvement.
Yeah, like I'll give props where it's due. The look of the game, the shooting mechanics and the weapons, and the base building, superb. But that's
Yeah,
not why I went to play Fallout 4.
yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like those reasons were not at all why.
It, they aren't like the contributing factors of a Fallout game typically.
Yeah, not the main factors. Um, the voice
But
acting
then you
thing
also,
didn't
yeah,
bother me. It wasn't. It
no.
wasn't a problem.
You have to remember though, the entire plot line of Fallout 4 is Fallout 3 in reverse.
Yeah.
It went from "Where's my dad" to
To
"Where's
where's
my
my
son."
son? Yeah.
I mean, if it works, but it
It,
didn't really work.
it didn't really work.
I mean, the big reveal. I'm not going to spoil it, but the
Yeah.
big reveal. It just it. I don't know if it's just me being stubborn, but I just flat out refuse to believe the big reveal.
Oh, it was that bad.
Because no, I mean like I think it's bad because like, bro, come on. But
Okay, so this
I th-
game's been out for 4 years. Spoil it. We'll end it with this. Give me the big reveal for what happens in Fallout 4.
your son is the director of the institute.
Oh.
He's the big bad guy.
Oh. Wow.
I know. He's like he because the way they do it is like they have like what are they synth Sean like the 10-year-old version of him
Mm-hmm.
right in a cage, and then your character's like, "What, Sean? I'm here. Let's go." But then the director walks in and he shuts him down, and he's like, "No, no, no, that's not your son. I'm your son. It's me. Think about it. The last you knew it was 10 years, but how do you know it was 10 years? How do you know it wasn't 60? Because he's an old dude."
Yeah.
I just flat out don't believe it. I think they've tested it where, like if you have a black character, I think you'll have like the black director, but I've never tried it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But apparently it may be a thing. So like, if they do that, then okay, sure, he's the son. But I'm a white dude, and the director, I think,
And
you
did
know,
they explain like how long he had been out in cryo or?
well, I mean, he got taken as a baby, and now he's a
Yeah.
6-year-old dude. So I guess chronologically he's about like 60 or 70, but
Wow. Wow. That yeah, I didn't picture that one coming. I you know what? I
they
Go ahead.
they do give you the freedom to just like, because it's like in that encounter, you can just flat out back out of the conversation, pull out your shotgun, blow them away, and leave.
Whoa. See, that's the type of Fallout stuff I like to hear. Like I can just be like,
Yeah,
screw it, kill them all.
it's like an
Like,
Outer Worlds kind of
yeah. Ooh, we
freedom.
didn't even talk about Outer Worlds.
You would be all you. I know nothing about that game.
Okay, Outer Worlds has all the things that I felt were missing. If Outer Worlds and Fallout 4 combined, it would be the perfect RPG. You would
It's
have,
almost as if you've made a YouTube video on this.
yeah, man, right? Is there a YouTube video about the Outer Worlds and it has all the mechanics that are missing? Because, okay, my thing with Fallout 4 is I felt stats were pointless. And I don't like that. I want my stats to mean something. I
They didn't
want,
really have stats. They had the perks, and
that's
then
what
they
I'm
had like the
saying.
the special.
Yeah, I like stat checks. Like that's why I play Fallout. It's like, okay, is my
Maxing
speech
out
good enough?
speech and maxing out
Yeah.
barter.
Yeah, if my speech is good enough, I can talk my way out of everything.
You can beat the final boss in New Vegas with a speech check. You don't even
Yeah,
have to fight him. He just
it
walks
had to be
off.
100, right, at the end,
Yeah.
to fight. Yeah, I didn't have
It
mine was
went
at like
from like 40
97.
to 60 to 80 to 100.
Yeah, mine was at like 97, and I ended up having to fight him. I was like, fuck.
Like, I just had to pop those mentats and I would have had him.
I didn't have. I don't think I had any more for some reason. Oh, I was so mad at myself. But oh crap, we're hitting that time. So we're hitting that hour marker. That was quick.
I know.
That went.
It's almost as if we're going to have to do more episodes of this.
I think we are at this point. We're gonna go ahead and call it StarCrossed Gaming or Gamers, but we'll call it something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Leave a suggestion below. What do
Yeah,
you think it should be called?
let us know. And thank you guys for taking the time. And Johnny, man, I'm really looking forward to doing more of this. We could talk about current stuff. We could talk about random topics. We could talk about why you don't watch anime. We could talk about a bunch of stuff. But
The
we will,
possibilities are endless.
yeah, we're really we can just have fun with it, man. I clearly like talking. Otherwise, I wouldn't be live streaming and doing other podcasts. This is my third podcast. Not today, but just like I did Adventures of the Black Nerds. I did Urban Retcon.
Oh, I've never heard of Urban Retcon.
Oh yeah, Urban Retcon. You got to check us out on Tone Deaf Network. I'm a
Oh,
part of
okay.
that group. Yeah, it's a different group of people. Shout out to Tone Deaf. Love you guys. Love the fam. But yeah, man. So this is gonna be under the Baron J67 umbrella, and it's gonna be something different, likes and ums. And I'm rambling. Um, Anything you want to send the people off with?
Uh, I think what I should end this on is check out Adventures of the Black Nerds, the other podcast, but don't get too addicted to it because you should watch the next ones of this as well.
Yeah, much love, man. Dang, all this support, Johnny. You're a champ. Well,
I am
folks,
number one fan.
really, no, seriously, folks, he really is my number one fan, and I'm glad to get to work with him. And guys, if you also want to get in on the podcast, you can. You can get a chance to get on the podcast through supporting me on my Patreon, Baron J67. Please, 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 because through supporting me, it helps me buy all the material and stuff I need. Like I had to go pick up a new weird camera stand thing so that I can shoot my live streams from a different angle, and it just helps me to get better equipment so I can get better lighting and helps keep all this running. So please go and support me on Patreon. And I mean, as little as a dollar a month will make all the difference in the world. So much love, and I'm signing out. Baron J67, peace.
Peace.